Hey YouTube, how are you? Well, not actually hi to YouTube, hi to all the people on the other side of their screens who are watching YouTube. And what a great way that we're all able to connect and share our personal perspectives and our authenticity, really. So, authenticity is an increasingly talked about subject, and it's really fascinating to endeavor an authentic path. And to me, authenticity is really about uniqueness and our ability to really express who we are authentically. And it's a funny one, right? Because in the system, we are sort of trained to believe that authenticity is bad, that we're meant to conform. We all learn the same subjects, we're all meant to be funneled into this way of being that suits the needs of the system. And so, out of fear, we really restrict ourselves and we often disconnect from our true self so that we can fit in, so that we can connect and feel like we belong to society or to a friendship circle or even to our families. And really, authenticity, like truth and authenticity, is on the other side of all that. And it's really on the other side of facing a lot of our fears, if not all of our fears, and continuing to deepen our connection to ourself. And what I'm getting with regards to the energies presently is that we're increasingly being asked to honor the truth of who we are as unique expressions of divine love, you could say, or simply unique expressions of divinity or of consciousness. And so how I work from within myself is completely unique. And yet there are these sort of checkpoints, you could say, or milestones or like aspects of awareness that we can usually all relate to. We can usually all relate to the fact that we feel challenged sometimes in life, or that we feel emotions. Now, sometimes I'll work with people and they think I'm joking when I say, well, do you feel stuff? Because from time to time, and actually is often the case when I observe, is that people don't really feel. They try to mask how they feel with thought. They try to rationalize themselves out of feeling. And in order to really become an authentic being, you have to get to know who you are. And ultimately, you have to get to know who you are from within yourself. So you have to be able to discern, and you have to be able to be still. And that means spending time in silence and spending time alone and spending time in reflection. Because so long as we never do any of those things, if we never spend time alone, if we never really give ourselves an opportunity to feel and reflect and go within and look at ourselves from within ourselves, then our authenticity will always elude us, because we're always talking about what this person said, or we're always seeking the answer from someone or something outside of us. And ultimately, we're never going to find ourselves out there. We can only really truly find ourselves by looking within. And it is like an ever-evolving process. I'm not sure whether we ever really get to a final place. I think we might move through and move beyond certain aspects of self or certain challenges in life, but then we might rise above those challenges and end up facing new challenges on a different level, which might require simply more groundedness, more awareness, and more connectivity so that we can see ourselves through and beyond those challenges and move into greater heights or greater awareness. But there really is no one right way. There really is no one right way to be. And a lot of the transition to becoming an authentic human being is about letting go of what you think you know and dropping into feeling and introspection and self-study. And it is and can be a real challenge to do that. Giving ourselves stillness and silence in a very busy world where we're constantly told, you know, you have to be productive, and if you're not busy, then you're valueless. And ultimately, like, a lot of the things that we do and the things that we think are just like patterns. We're just going round and round in circle. And when we pause, when we take a moment just to breathe and just to be, it forces us to sit with what is often pretty uncomfortable sensation, pretty uncomfortable emotions. Working our own self out so that we can get more to the heart of who we are, more to the authentic being that we truly are here to be, is truly challenging. And it's something that we avoid by staying locked in patterns and making those busyness patterns an excuse as to why we can't own who we are and really start to look at who we are. And it's an incredibly humbling journey. You know, I guess you could say the real spiritual path, or the ascension path, as some people call it, it is humbling, because the spiritual path is ultimately a path that leads us to unity with the totality of existence, you know, the harmonic totality of existence. And so all of the perceived disharmony really is endeavoring to work itself out. And so as we move along this path, any aspect of ourselves that isn't in alignment or isn't in harmony with the truth of our being, the truth of why we're here, is gonna work itself out. And working it out usually comes from those uncomfortable, shitty patterns or circumstances, whether it's in our physical body through injury or not feeling good in our bodies, or whether it's people showing up to ruffle our feathers, or jobs being taken away from us, whatever appears to be happening outside of us that makes us feel uncomfortable, it makes us feel anxious or want to attack or want to react. Every single one of those moments is an opportunity to look at ourselves, to figure out, like, what can I learn from this? How can I be more loving in this situation? Or how can I learn really about what's deeper in myself? How can I learn more about myself from this situation, rather than blaming someone, rather than pretending it's not there, rather than like hating on ourselves about, you know, how shitty we might be, or even as far as, like, rather than just paying a bunch of people to try and fix us, right? And that's something often, like our substances, we want to mask something, just if we can just consume it away, maybe it'll go away. And it's just, what I'm realizing is that's not really how it works. It's challenging and it's deep. I guess you could say the reward about it all is that you end up feeling better. In truth, you recognize that things are working, and that what you're being ushered to is a greater ability to be present, a greater ability to be authentic, a greater ability to discern the path that's right versus what's wrong. And so your life and your lifestyle ends up being more in the flow, ends up being more peaceful, ends up being more abundant. And so that really is the reward of doing spiritual work, is that you eventually you kind of turn the tide or shift the paradigm and start working from within self, which is actually working with consciousness itself. And the better you get at that, the more you can see it working outside of you and in your body as well. And so you can really feel better in your body. You can show up for the people in your life in a more loving and harmonious way, and lead to a better and more harmonious world as well. And that's often why we usually endeavor a spiritual path when we ourselves are really tired with the life that we're living, or we inherently know in our hearts that we can't really abide by how we're taught to be out there. And we're living in a really interesting time in history where, or the human story even, where we're having to be more diligent with the choices that we're making. And that's even coming in for me with relating to people on social media and having people come into my reality and being really discerning about where my actions and words come from with regards to interacting with people, and discerning, what energies are in alignment with my soul ultimately. And it doesn't really matter what the past has been, but any given moment and any given day, does this truly feel aligned? Does this truly feel aligned with the purity of our heart? Because the heart's energy is really pure, and it's really all about, love and benevolence and service to the good of all. It doesn't necessarily it's not like martyrdom or sacrifice. It doesn't look like how we've often been trained to think it does, which is like another veil that makes this stuff really often counterintuitive and weird. But the more we get into it, the more clear it becomes. And at the same time, the more reality and time really opens up. So to really find your authenticity, or to really start to feel into your authenticity, you need to become more still, i.e. do things like meditation, relaxation, hang out in nature by yourself. Hang out by yourself more. And discernment. You need to be able to really discern the thoughts that serve you, the people who serve you, versus the thoughts and the people and the places and the things that don't really serve you anymore. Like, you might just deep down know that, a certain type of food ain't working for you. Or a certain person just doesn't really resonate with you anymore. And finding the courage to change and let life flow and let people go and let new things in, that's all part of the process. And nobody's right or wrong in this stuff. We're all just unique, divine sparks figuring it out as we go along, as we endeavor this new paradigm and this beautiful new reality for as many of us as possible. All of us eventually, really. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think I have like one person watching, which is quite cool. I want to continue with the live shares. The connection again is a little bit dodgy because I'm in the middle of the countryside as per usual. And I just got in that I want to do a live share about veganism. So if there's any vegans out there or want to be vegan, stay tuned and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. You can also go to alltolove.com and subscribe to the movement and be part of a really down-to-earth, cool love tribe. Thanks a lot for watching and listening and engaging, and just for being you. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.